Matt Hatfield here with you from Three Notch Brewery in Virginia Beach in Town Center. Come on out as we celebrate the 50th induction weekend for the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, and one of the 9 inductees is now with us. He came to Roanoke College in the mid-1970s and immediately enhanced the Maroons, rich lacrosse tradition. A 3-time All-American during his time there in lacrosse, and the 1978 National Player of the Year. We say hello and congrats to Bob Rotanz. Bob, thanks for stopping by. How's life been for you?
Great. This has been quite a shocking, great experience. I didn't see this coming, but I'm very excited.
So when you got the call, were you just taken aback by it? Did you know that this could be coming at all? Had you heard you were a candidate?
I never heard I was a candidate. My teammate and the athletic director at Roanoke College is Scott Allison.
Okay.
So he said, let's play in this fundraiser for Virginia Athletic Hall of Fame like 5 years ago. So me and 2 of the teammates and Scott, all 4 of us played together, and we live in the same area. So we drove up to stand about an hour and a half away and played. And I remember being on the putting green with Joe Jacoby, and a big gentleman, and various other athletes that were there. This is really cool. So we would have a box lunch, play around a golf, a little barbecue, and some beer afterwards. It's about 5 years in a row. And I met Will there, and he mentioned that he likes our restaurant. I said, next time you're in, make sure you call me. We'll have a beer together, Will. Really nice guy. As you know, Will's a super guy.
Absolutely.
So I get a call at 757 phone number in the morning. I just let it go to voicemail. About 5 o'clock, I pull in my driveway, and it's Will. He said, "Will, Bob, give me a call when you get a chance." So I really thought he wanted me to take an ad in his program, at the restaurant. And
right.
I never really – so he told me I was going to be inducted in the 50th year. I was really quite in shock. I was in more shock when I found out who I was being inducted with. So that was really mind-blowing,
Yeah, part of a great class was Sean Moore, Sheila Trice Myers, Ryan Zimmerman, Jerry Ratcliffe, Joe Montgomery, D'Angelo Hall, Francina McCrory, and we just had on Jimmy Laycock. For you, when you got to Roanoke College, what was sort of your vision? I mean, you're playing a sport in lacrosse that has really grown exponentially. Here in Virginia Beach, I know you live out in Roanoke, they just started it as a high school sport. It's just been a club sport for the last few years. But you have to be just thrilled with what the sport's done and what it did for you in your life.
Oh, yeah, where I grew up in Long Island, New York, it was a big sport in the 70s, upstate New York, Baltimore, but it really hadn't spread yet, and I loved the game. And so, I back then in the 70s, there wasn't much difference between Divisions 1, 2, and 3. We played Virginia, North Carolina, NC State, UMBC, Towson State. We played a lot of big schools. It was fun. And where it's gone now, it's crazy. I coached the first public school team in the Roanoke Valley, Patrick County High School, like 30 years ago.
Okay.
And, we went 0-10, and not very many athletes went out then. But just this past year, there's a kid on the team that got offers from Virginia, Yale, and Ohio State, and he is a 4.0 student, and he decided to go to Ohio State. Then the fall, he was playing football, and he got full ride offers to Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, and Tennessee as a football player. So the sport has really grown as far as not only just in numbers, but the kind of athletes that are coming out for it.
Well, and the visibility you just touched on. I mean, you can put on the TV now, be on ESPNU or ACC Network or Big Ten Network, and there's a game almost every day on there, and the sport's gotten, I think, its rightful notoriety and credit here. And for you, when you get to Roanoke College and you start to have a good career, and then it goes from good to unbelievably great, cementing yourself National Player of the Year, how do you handle all that? Are you still trying to block out the noise, or did it kind of wrap you up a little bit? How did you all approach it?
Oh, I mean, when at first, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, our coach was an amazing coach. He recruited very well, and we in 7 seasons he went from his first year as a coach in the first NCAA program, and in 7 seasons won a national championship. It was my sophomore year we beat Virginia. We had we beat Duke. My son-in-law played soccer for Duke. And back in the 70s, we were comfortable with that team, so we played them 4 times and beat them 4 times.
But like you said earlier, now that would seem impossible.
Oh, no,
college,
there's no way. Oh, no way it would happen now. Just because it's, the type of athletes, too, they're getting now. Like, Virginia's defensive guys, like 6'7".
Yeah.
They're super athletic. As a matter of fact, the name escapes me right now. It kills me. But the guy that he played for Atlanta Falcons, a defensive end, he was at UVA, and the name escapes me, but he went to UVA to play lacrosse, and then jumped ship and played football and was like an all-pro. Because they probably saw him in the weight room pumping iron and go, hey, we need you over here. So, yeah, it's really grown, and I think the kind of athletes, too, has also gotten much better.
What was the favorite part? You were also National Defensive Player of the Year. You get to the NCAA Championship, score the winning goal in the title game. Is that what sticks out most about your career, that moment, or was there something else or a couple of moments that stick out about it?
That game particularly, that team Hobart we played, again, going back in the 70s, they had beat Syracuse that year 15-9. The only loss they had was to Cornell, number 1 team in the country, by 2 goals. But they had won 2 national championships before us. And back then, the home team, the higher seed, hosted it. So there was a stadium with thousands of people in it, and we're playing on their home field. And to beat them on their home field was as a matter of fact, they won 13 national championships after us. So they won 2, lost to us, and won 13 in a row, and won a total of 16. They were just dominated.
In a row, 13 straight?
In a row, yeah.
Oh, my.
Yeah, so we were kind of the fluke, but we beat them by 1, and our coach was really kind of ahead of the game, and he set a play up where a defenseman, I only had 1 goal all year, but I had scored the year before against that team, and so it was like a trick play. And I guess it'd be like a tackle eligible in football, or set up a play for your 7-foot center hit a 3-pointer. It wasn't seen, and we pulled it off, and it was credit to him. He was a smart coach. And
most athletes, whether they're playing football, basketball, baseball, they dream of having the game-winning touchdown or their game-winning basket, home run to walk off. You get that goal in a championship game, and it had to be just surreal. You couldn't have scripted it any better, could you?
Couldn't script it better, but honestly, I did dream about it, though.
Did you really?
Like all the other players. The defenseman coming down, like, not in that scenario, but I definitely thought that would be a cool way to and going into the game, too, if the game was close, we had practiced that play for weeks. So when it was tie score with 40 seconds left in timeout, Coach said, "Robert, are you ready?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready." And we just ran this play, and it worked.
A couple more minutes here with Bob Rotanz, one of the 9 inductees for the 50th induction weekend for the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame here from Three Notch Brewery in Virginia Beach in Town Center. So these couple of years have got to be just so cool for you, because last year you're the recipient of the Roanoke College Medal, which is the highest honor awarded by the institution. You go into the hall this year. So from when your career ended in the 70s at Roanoke College to now, take us up, fill in the gaps. You mentioned about restaurant, so you can tell us a little bit about that. But what did Bob Rotanz do in that time from end of the 70s to now?
Well, I was a senior at Roanoke College when I met my wife, and she was a freshman. I decided to stay in town for a little while she was there, and then this opportunity came up for me. There was, at the time, 18-year-olds could legally drink, and there was a little tiny corner bar with no tables but 10 stools available to rent. I had virtually no money, so another teammate of mine, Mac, we decided let's do this, and there was no place for a college kid to drink a beer. There's only 1,200 students, but there was no place for them to hang out. So we were immediately busy right away. So we went from 10 stools, and now our restaurant seats 330 people. We have an inside bar, an outside bar, and it's a very spacious place. And we've grown, probably had like 5 or 6 renovations. So it's been a long run. It's been good though. We've been really entrenched in the community, and our logo has lacrosse sticks and a helmet on it. Back then, it's funny when I flew down from LaGuardia to Roanoke College as a freshman in 1974, and my lacrosse stick came on the turnstile. This woman asked me what that was, and I said, "It's a lacrosse stick." "Well, what do you do with that?" I said, "I play lacrosse." Like, "Oh, okay. What is that?" Now it's, there's probably a dozen high schools in our area that play, boys and girls, and it's gotten so much popular. But yeah, that's what I've basically done since I graduated. I had a short period. I had a job right out of school in insurance, and didn't quite like that, and jumped right into the restaurant business, and been doing it ever since. As a matter of fact, we carry Three Notch beer at our place.
Do you really?
Yeah, we have 40 taps, so we got a lot of craft beer, but they're a good brewery.
So awesome. And lastly, just I know, not being a native of Virginia, to come into the state, do what you did in this Hall of Fame. I mean, are you one that you think will get emotional tomorrow night during your speech, or is this one that's just, hey, I'm just enjoying the ride, not one that gets too teared up?
Oh, yeah. I did my practice speech with my wife, and I got really choked up.
Did you?
As a matter of fact, when Will called me, I was in my car. My wife saw me pull up, and I was in my car for like quite a while just trying to figure this out. And I walked in the house, and, I've been together for like 40-something years, including dating and married. And I was emotional, but I want to make sure that she knew I have 3 daughters and some grandkids. I don't want nothing negative. And she goes, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, I'm good. I'm good. She said, "It's a good thing." I said, "What?" I said, "I just got this call, Wendy, from Will Driscoll. I'm being inducted to the Virginia Athletic Hall of, not lacrosse, the Athletic Hall of Fame." Yeah. And I was just blown away. Yeah, so it's still really hard for me to grasp it. I'm very, very, very honored, but I still can't believe it's really happening.
So great and so deserved for Bob Rotanz from Roanoke College, National Player of the Year in lacrosse. You heard about the schools. You say, D3, how are they beating these schools like Syracuse and Virginia? Well, Bob Rotanz was a stud back in the day and now owns a restaurant. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we look forward to tomorrow night.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate it. We appreciate your time on here.
Our pleasure. Bob Rotanz with us here at Three Notch Brewery in Virginia Beach.